Hello all, and welcome to the next video here in the Onion Man's Rooftop 2 at a cow caravan of treasure and sometimes barter. The streak continues. What, you thought it was going to end today? No, it's not. And we are taking a look at some Super 7 New Japan figures. Yay. Anyway, I'm not the most excited about this. So, a long time ago on this channel, I unboxed the first series of Super 7 New Japan figures. It was Tanahashi, Okada, Will Ospreay, and Tomohiro Ishii. And it was the most like mixed bag of figures ever. And it was kind of disappointing because Super 7 is a pretty high-end company. Their figures are 40 to 50 bucks, sometimes more depending on which one it is. And so you expect a high-quality, nice figure. Their Ninja Turtle line is almost perfect. I can't really say anything negative about that Ninja Turtle line. It's really cool. They look fantastic. They're based on the original Playmates figures, so they look spot on. Their Thundercats line, which I have been unboxing a little bit here and there, is hit and miss for sure. I'm hoping that's just because Series 2 and 3 kind of came out in the COVID era, and there were a lot of issues with those. I'm hoping that's just up to that. And then there's some off ones, you know. You got some other kind of off figures that you can randomly get out of Super 7. But by far, the most hit and miss one was the New Japan figures. Tanahashi looked fantastic. For the most part, the figure was great. And Ishii looked fantastic. And for the most part, the figure was great. Okada looked weird, like blotchy. I don't know what was up with that. And his accessories that he came with were just dismal. The fact that, like, Mattel can give you decent-looking money accessories, and Super 7 gave you a green block that didn't even have any detail to it, was just trash. And the Ospreay figure looked way off. I don't know what it was. It was like a cheapy kind of coat that felt like it came with it, like a soft good coat, and all that. And I just say that because, like, if you're paying for a premium figure, you should get a premium figure. It's the same issue I had with the Boss Fight Studios Conan figure. You know, you're paying more than the average figure for that, so it should be good. And instead it came with crappy ball joints on the hips, and I don't know. It's just, wrestling figures are in a weird flux right now where, like, some of them are good, some of them are just atrocious. And Super 7 is no different. They had a couple of good ones and a couple of really bad ones. This is Wave 2. I'm hoping they are way better. These are the only waves so far that they've done. They haven't announced anything new for New Japan, I don't think. And hopefully they can do a lot better because Storm Collectibles, in terms of Japanese wrestling figures, is kicking their ass. The Jushin Thunder Liger Storm Collectibles, all of those have been really good figures. And the Minoru Suzuki was a fantastic figure. And Super 7's over here just struggling to make normal dudes. It's pretty wild. So we got two. We got some Los Ingobernables. I hope I said that right. We got Evil and Naito. This is kind of from the height of their run, like when Naito was double champ and all that stuff. So not the most up-to-date version of these guys, but hey, we're going to do Naito last, though, because I like Naito. I'm a big Naito fan. To me, he was kind of the closest thing post-Nakamura to a Nakamura, like charisma-wise. It took him a while to figure it out, but when he did, it was great. And we're going to start with Evil. Kind of a dark horse in the whole New Japan saga of things. Kind of like Sonata is right now. I'm dating this video a little bit. Sonata is actually the current IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He won the New Japan Cup, I believe, and then challenged for the belt and won it. So, yeah. Just like every other Super 7, these come in the shipper box that you saw. And then they got a plastic thing with a slip cover, so cool. Let's get them open. It's just, man, go back and watch my videos where I unbox the other figures in these sets. And, like, you'll see the comparison. It's weird how, like, their Ninja Turtles are so perfect. But then something as simple as New Japan is so messed up. I don't get it. That's why I always say I have a love-hate relationship with Super 7. Them and McFarlane are probably the companies that I have the most love-hate relationship with. It's a cool box. It's got like a gold lifted, like embroidered logo. The back, New Japan Pro Wrestling, King of Sports. Take off the slip cover here. And you got Evil. I hope this is good. In the box, he looks decent. We'll find out. There you go. Got a little bio type of thing here. Kind of looks like a bio card, but it's not. I'm sure you could cut it out if you wanted. Height. He's 5'10". I'm taller than Evil. Weight 234. From a part. They should have put parts unknown. Let's be real here. Parts unknown. Come on. Finisher Evil. And his Twitter. I can't believe they put the Twitters on here. I don't remember that on the last figures. Alright. And these are already kind of old and out of date. Like I said, these aren't the most modern version of these guys, because these came out a while back. And as far as I know, I haven't seen anything from Super 7 about New Japan figures, so hey. Backdrop has like lights in it if you want to use it for figure photography. Kind of decent. And we cut the tape on the back where the accessories are. He's really got like a lot of alternate hands and his giant scythe accessory, so that he comes out with like Grim Reaper style. Alright, and there it is. Kind of disappointing, not gonna lie. Just looking at it. It looks cool, like aesthetically. If you just look at that, it looks like a really cool Grim Reaper scythe thing. But it's just lacking in some detail. It's just one big silver plastic piece. And if you ever see Evil with the scythe, it's got a lot of detail to it. Like the rosaries on it are different colors. The ropes that wrap around it are different colors. The blade is a little bit different. This is just an unpainted piece of plastic. Kind of flimsy. It's not bad. I mean, like, it's not a bad quality plastic. It's just severely lacking in some detail. And it's a really cool mold, which makes it even worse that it's lacking in so much detail. Oh, we got twist ties, but twist ties be damned, I have scissors. Nice. Okay. Yo, you hear that thunder? It's been raining a lot here lately. We've been getting a lot of hail too. A lot of tornadoes around us and tornado warnings. Thankfully nothing's hit town yet. So but we've been getting a lot of warnings and a lot of hail and thunderstorm warnings, and it's been raining on and off for the past week or so, so sorry, I was getting all of his alternate hands out. He does come with a ton of alternate hands. He's got some hands, some like mic holding hands, and they're all individually finger wrapped. I will give Super 7 credit. That is a great touch. If you remember when we looked at the, I think it was the Will Ospreay figure especially had this problem, where he had hand wraps. You know, Will Ospreay has like his hands wrapped in gauze or whatever, in athletic tape. And it was molded onto the hands but not painted, and it just looks so cheap and dumb. These are actually molded on and painted, so big step up in the alternate hands department for New Japan figures, I will say. If you want to know, and I'm not the only one who thought those were disappointment. I'm not trying to crap on Super 7. Go watch the Major Wrestling Figure Pod video where they unbox the figures and look at the sheer disappointment on Matt Cardona's face. Because they had already signed to get their figures made, and I'm going to unbox their figures too. After this one, actually, that's the next video I'm going to film. It might not be the next one uploaded on the channel after this one, but, you know, you get my point. The sheer disappointment of like, oh my god, these suck, on his face is amazing. We've got like his face mask. Again, the mold is fantastic. The actual detail, not so much. This, at the very least, could use a wash to make some of the detail pop. But it looks cool. It's like a steampunk samurai Oni mask. Yeah. Like a death metal Oni mask. Come on. We do have his alternate head. I know it looks like he doesn't have any teeth, but Evil does wear a mouthpiece sometimes, so you can kind of get away with it. But it does make it look like they didn't mold a mouthpiece in there, so it just makes him look like he has no teeth. But that being said, they did get the makeup and like the little scar on his face and everything, the kind of fade in his hair. It's a decent head sculpt. I don't hate it. On to the figure itself. Let me see if I can get him out of here. Alright. Lots going on here. Hold on. Alright. Immediately, first thing I can say, his robe is a massive upgrade from what we got with Will Ospreay, and Tanahashi and Okada. This is like a really nice looking felt robe. Like it's like a velvety felt kind of material, probably a fake one, but still. He's got the upside down cross. They kind of put some glitter on it. I think it could use more to kind of give it that like sparkle when he comes out. It's just uneven, but still, this soft goods robe setup massively better than the one we got before. So, head sculpt's decent. It's a decent likeness. I don't mind it. He looks a little pale, but it's okay. Underneath all this, it looks like we got his gear. I don't want to really take all of it off, to be honest with you. I'm going to try to kind of just give you some brief looks at the gear itself and go from there. Okay, so underneath, he's got the kind of standard black with the purple kind of metallic lightning on it. He's got the little symbol there on the side. It looks like this is a little disappointing. Some of the dye from the robe bled through onto his legs. I hope that's not a constant problem with this figure. I'll look at the arms in a minute. His knee pads and everything look fantastic. I'll give it that. They look really good. His boots also look really good with the purple laces and everything. He wears short wrestling boots, so there you go. Yeah, I mean, so far, let me check the arms here. Looks like we got some dye rub off on here too, so that's disappointing. Almost perfect. Not quite. Anyway, there's our Evil figure. Back of the robe. Stand test. He's got a wonky leg right out of the gate. I'll tell you that. Like, take a look at his leg. Yeah, that's not good. Hopefully that doesn't impede him standing. I have a feeling it's actually going to. It's going to. Yeah. The leg's too jank to actually hold up any weight. There we go. That sucks. I feel like this was a problem with some of the first wave too, right? They just had trouble standing. Yeah, he's got issues standing. That sucks. Man, it sucks because they did so good on other stuff. The head sculpts are great. They molded and painted all the individual tapes on the hands, but then the dye bleeding onto the figure really sucks. That's just Mattel fixed that problem a long time ago. That's why they stopped putting guys in soft goods. So if you wanted to put the soft good on, it came separately and you could, and then you could take it off if you wanted. Super7 obviously hasn't learned that yet. So the fact that the actual accessories are still molded very well, but just painted, like not painted at all, is really disappointing. And the fact that he just has so much trouble standing, that's another one of those things. Like, it's not the robe holding him down. Like, if you put him in a proper place, he'll stand. But the moment you give it any give, and like, oh, he's actually standing. Okay. Okay, I think I finally got him into a position where he can stand. But his legs are like totally straightened out and kind of wonky looking. I'm also noticing... No, that's part of the figure. Oh, there he goes again. No, I had it. Come on. Okay, I had him in a perfect standing spot, and now he's not back standing again, so... Okay, there we go. So it will stand, but the wonky leg, as well as the kind of just quality control issues, are hurting him. So it's one of those figures where I want to like it, but it's like a McFarlane. You want to like it because what's there is a great idea and it's cool, and they upgraded and made it better than before, but it's like you keep shooting yourself in the foot. It's like you take one step forward, 2 steps back. So for Evil, I'm going to give it a thumbs in the middle, just for him specifically. We'll look at Naito here in a minute. Hopefully that's way better. Naito looks better in all the pictures I've seen. And a lot of the unboxing videos, he seems to be the better one. I did not get the other two in the set. They were Hiromu, I think, and Bushi. Could be wrong on that. But, yeah, just the lack of detail on the accessories, cloth, good. While it's a great material and it's executed well, that dye bleeding onto the figure sucks. That's something you can't make a rookie mistake about these days with wrestling figures. If you're going to do cloth goods, pack them separately, or make them in like a different material, which some companies have started to do. So disappointing. I wish I could give it a thumbs up because it is an upgrade over the previous New Japan figures, but not enough for me to warrant giving it a thumbs up. It's like they went from a thumbs down to the thumbs in the middle. So marginally better. There, we got Naito. Let's get him open. Hopefully this is a lot better. Like I said, I'm a big Naito fan. I really like Naito. When he was throwing around the Intercontinental Belt and all that stuff, it was fantastic. He went to Mexico, came back, and was so much better. Between him and Yujiro, clearly he became the bigger star. So, again, all the same stuff. Took him out of the plastic. There you go. Okay. I'm worried because he's also got a soft goods like jacket. Hopefully it's good. And there he is. He comes with the IWGP Intercontinental title, the old one. I have an issue here because luckily all the belts I had, all my New Japan belts that came with these figures were good. But I've seen a lot of people who have opened up this Naito and the belt straps are actually broken or ripped. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen here. 5'11". I'm still taller than Naito. 225. Tokyo, Japan. Destino. Great finisher. A little wonky sometimes. And they put his Twitter on there as well. There you go. Alright. Let's hope for something better here. Same thing. Same like light background effect if you want to take it out and do some figure photography with it. He has nothing on the back. Like, because there's not a lot of other accessories with him. I could have sworn he was supposed to come with 2 belts. Is that not right? Now that I'm looking at this? Wasn't he supposed to come with the IWGP Heavyweight belt and the Intercontinental belt? Did he not? Oh, never mind. I see something. Surprise, surprise. He has a twist tie in the back. Twist ties be damned. I have scissors. Cool. Alright. New Japan right now is in a weird place to me. Like, I love that Sonata is the champion, but seeing Sonata, and like before that during COVID, like seeing Shingo Takagi as champion, it's like one of the, especially with Shingo, like, I've been watching Shingo since like his early Dragon Gate days, and it's just wild to see like that progression. That's one of those things you never thought you would see. Even when he got to New Japan, it just felt like he was another signing. Tons of alternate hands. He's got like an eye-opening hand, like to do his little pose. Looks pretty good. Nothing really to mold on there, so you don't need to have all that. Perfectly fine. We have him with a hat on his head. It's a decent likeness. It's not perfect by any means, but I think they got the hair, the kind of bushy hair, and like the way the hat just sits on his big hair. And they kind of got like the lackluster, just I don't give a damn face down pretty well. So, good head sculpt. Good detail on the hat, thankfully. They didn't just put a blank hat on him. No, in Super 7 they would have. We have the IWGP Intercontinental Belt. If you've ever seen how any of the Mattel WWE Championships works, which AEW also does now, and Super 7 does, it's just pegged into a slot. Doesn't look like there's any tears on this one, like I've seen with some people's. I'm hesitant to take it off and open it because I will admit this feels thinner than WWE or AEW belts. You can actually see where it looks thinner, and I'm afraid to actually take it off those pegs and rip it. Not gonna lie. Also, for a premium figure, I would hope there would be more detail in the actual championship. It's just a solid gold plastic piece, but at least they put it on a white strap, so I'm not going to complain too much. Alright, and we've got Naito himself. Oh, he came with an accessory taped to the bottom. Oh, look, they actually taped this one to the bottom. Fascinating, isn't it? So, they taped his soft good shirt to the bottom of the box. Good. This is how you should do soft goods. I always complain about how wrestling figures use too much hard good plastic. The AEW Revival figures are that way. Edge jackets forever with Mattel were that way. Undertaker coats, all that stuff. I hate the hard plastic accessories. They don't dye the skin, which is good, but then they started switching over to more cloth good, which was great, but Mattel had that problem where it was dyeing the skin of the figure. They did that with Rick Rude, and then they re-released Rick Rude, the SummerSlam Elite Rick Rude, where the jacket, his coat, his robe or whatever, was in a plastic baggie off to the side. And then you could take it off and like, that way, like when it was in production, it wouldn't be wet when it got put on the figure and the dye would bleed. Great idea. They did that with this. They did not do it with Evil, clearly, because he's got dye bleed. But they did it with this Naito shirt, and I'm happy they did. So, instantly, Naito is an upgrade from Evil over here. So, I'm glad that companies are learning that, because it was a problem for so long. Oh, this head is not good. Hold on. Not that the likeness isn't good, but you'll see here in a minute what I mean. Okay. First off, head is a decent likeness. Again, it's not perfect. Super 7 kind of has this weird thing of when they're trying to do real people, they kind of cartoony the heads a little bit. But it's not bad. I don't mind it. I do think his hair could use a little bit of detail. Naito's got a lot of highlighting in his hair. So, yeah, probably could use that. One thing I noticed about this head, he's got like a bobblehead going. It's a very loose ball joint. Yeah, kind of disappointing there. He's got this nice, like, it's like almost like a canvas jacket. Like a canvas hoodie. And then the hoodie's a bit more of a soft material. Tranquilo. There you go. And it has an actual zipper. And I noticed this in the box. I was right. He does have the IWGP Heavyweight Championship on there. Here's the issue with that. It looks horrible. Oh no, I spoke too soon. I gave them credit and they screwed me. Oh no. Okay. Okay, I opened the jacket and a myriad of problems. He does have a cloth good shirt on. Oh man. Oh man. So he's got a bobblehead, a cloth good shirt that's probably dyed underneath, and this IWGP title looks like a giant nickel. I know there's a lot of silver on the old belt, but there was a lot of gold on it too. It was like accented with gold, and there's just no detail to that. Especially when you're getting detail, like better detail in Mattel belts, which are way cheaper, and this is supposed to be higher quality, and they just aren't. I do like this canvas jacket. The gear on him looks good. His tassels are not painted for crap. The boots are just a straight white. They put a lot of detail into his gear, which is great. They got all the symbols and everything, but then left the boots just plain Jane. I'm going to see if I can get the belt off. I don't want to rip it, obviously, because I know people have had that problem with these belts. So I'm going to carefully try to unpeg the back here. Okay, I got it. That was like stressful. Oh my god, is the belt stuck to him? Oh, that is horrible. Look at this. So I undid the belt. It came off fine. No tears, no nothing. But now if I try to take the belt off, like, here, hold on. Let me put his arm up here. He's like, where they just put a cheap-ass decal on the shirt. Like, it's almost like the glue didn't dry, and it's stuck. It was stuck. The belt, like, oh, that was so weird. Came off fine, though. Nothing's wrong, so... Yeah, that belt needs detail. It needs to be touched up. He was like, oh, no. Any dye stains? I'm taking this big-ass jacket off. Hold on. Very rarely do I take the clothes off, like, to get an idea of what's going on here. And he's got some dyeing. Oh. It's not too bad, thankfully. It doesn't look like, but it's definitely there. So I got the jacket off. It's turned inside out now, but oh well. Markers. If you have a soft goods jacket and you need to turn it back to the way it's supposed to be to display it or something, markers. They work perfect for that. And there you go. Put it back inside the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. Or pencil, anything. Like an eraser, the eraser side, obviously. I always use marker because it's just sitting here. This shirt does not have any like clamps or anything, but I can just tell like around, it's almost like he's got a tan line because of the shirt. Around his wrist, that jacket bled through as well, so there it was. I gave him too much credit too early. Like, oh, they did so well putting the shirt in a jacket, and I forgot it came with 2 shirts. And this one has bleed through. Darn. That being said, it's not as bad as the evil one, where it was like all over his body. As far as I can tell, his torso is actually good. Yeah. Articulation-wise, these are okay. They're not great. They have no waist swivel. If they do, then that one's stuck. They don't have any thigh swivel. They're on a ball joint, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It's a decent figure. The head joint is a little weird. I'm hoping that's just an issue that isn't too hard to fix or something. If he's just standing there, then it's not too bad. But, like, because there's no waist swivel, it looks like he's bent towards the side. Like, his legs are going one way and his chest is trying to turn. I mean, it ain't moving, so I'm going to guess there's no waist joint on, or waist swivel on this guy. And it's like glued unevenly on there, if that is indeed glue. See? It makes it look like it's got one, but he's just not turning. And I don't want to snap it and break it. So disappointing there. His legs are nice and tight, not loose like the evil ones, which means, yeah, he stands way better. Yeah, cool. There you go. There's your New Japan figures. I'm not even going to try to stand evil. Yeah, again, it's more of that up and down stuff. It's like they took that step forward, but still somehow took 2 steps back. I don't know how their Ninja Turtle line can be so good. The Thundercats is decent. It's got some issues. Wave 2 and 3 especially. Oh, Wave 1 did too. Like, let's just be real here. I've only unboxed, so far, the first 3 waves. And somehow those still ended up with so many issues. You might see this video out first, but just know that I already did film those unboxings. And it was like there'd be 2 good figures and 2 bad figures. And I feel like this is the same thing, where like before there were 2 good figures, you had Ishii and Tanahashi, and 2 bad figures, Okada and Ospreay. And here I feel like we got mixed bags on both. Naito's got a little bit more going for it in terms of actual quality of this figure, but still, quality control is such ass for these New Japan figures. And I know this probably went through the COVID era too, if I remember, but still, like the lack of detail on accessories, the lack of detail on the belts. Like Mattel is giving $20 a figure. I know right now it's like more like $22.99 or whatever, but and this is like over double the price, and your accessories are lacking all that detail, and yet Mattel's cheap ass elites can outwork you in that regard. That's just fascinating to me. It's one of the reasons why I think Super 7 has never been able to truly capture a big chunk of the market the way a Bandai does, or the way other companies do with premium figures. It just feels like they're always that step behind for anything that's not called Ninja Turtles. And I'm going to preface that because once I start unboxing the Super 7 Ninja Turtles, it's going to be nothing but like praise, because the Ninja Turtle line is damn near perfect. They haven't had that issue. And they actually benefit from some of the quality control stuff. Like the lack of detail on an accessory, it kind of works for it because they're based on the old Playmates toys, which were all just one color. So the Ninja Turtles, for whatever reason, have yet to disappoint, whereas almost all their other lines tend to be hit and miss. And so it's just weird that Super 7's in that weird spot. Like, you got one that's really good, and the rest just end up kind of flopping. So, is what it is. Again, I think it's a step up, but also 2 steps down. So, for Naito, I'm also going to give a thumbs in the middle. I wouldn't say it's completely thumbs down, just because they did so well on the detail of his trunks and his elbow pads. And the head sculpt, especially the one with the hat, looks really good. All the hands were actually done more proper. So like I said, there's some positives. There's a lot of updates that are way better from Wave 1. But then there's also still a lot of those lingering issues. So, you know, we kind of went from Wave 1 being a big thumbs down to these 2 at least. I'm not getting the other 2. To this Wave 2 being thumbs in the middle. So congratulations, you went from trash to mediocre. And that's it for this video. If you liked the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. You do not have to if you do not want to. But I always appreciate anybody who does. And I will catch you guys in the next video.